Hello, hello. Welcome to today's Facebook Live. I'm going to be talking a bit about this activation that I received, and I have a special invitation for you to join me on a 6-week journey. So I'm going to be talking about that as well. And yeah, this exploration. Hi, Rebecca. I've been in this exploration of the dark goddess, and I posted last week, that I was feeling called to take the weekend off of Facebook and really to dive deeper. And, what I was really present to is sort of like this irritation and this frustration in me with, the way that things are done in the online space and in business world. And I could feel this place of like not wanting to do it the same way. And yet I could feel where, this energy is kind of locked up. This creative energy is kind of locked up in my sacral chakra. And as I would try to go get closer to like, how do I actually want to do it? What I noticed is all these protection mechanisms, that have been protecting this voice, this expression of what's really wanting to move through me, right? And as I've gotten closer to this, and the healer that I've been working with, she invited me into this exploration of the dark goddess. And, what I've noticed is how much this energy is misunderstood. And that was like this thread that kept coming forward. And, these times that we've maybe been punished for really expressing this truth, that is deep within us. So for me, this place is sort of in my womb, but for you, you might hold it in a different place. Maybe it's in your heart or your belly or, I don't know. But there's all these protection mechanisms around it. And we can see these parts of ourselves as like the shadowy places. And, also maybe it's the places that we protect others from, right? Where maybe we want to keep others at an arm's length, or we don't want to shine too bright, because if we shine too bright, then maybe they're going to feel a certain thing. And so we sort of like repress, this energy that is in us. And it's this ancient wisdom, and it's a natural resource, right? It's the natural essence of like who we are and the magic that we hold in many ways. And for lifetimes and centuries, we've protected this like wellspring of energy. And I've been in this exploration of like, is it really as scary as I've thought it was? For all these years? And is it really dangerous? And is it really harmful to others? And if I allow other people to get close to me in this way of like me really standing in my truth and serving from this place of depth, that like really fuels me, like, is that really dangerous to others? And is there anything for others to really be afraid of? And as I've been exploring some of these questions, I've really wanted to share a lot of what's moving through me with the community, and also what I also was present to in myself as I, thought about doing a real magic episode, or doing some Facebook Lives, like to share what's moving through. What I could feel is, this place in me that really wants it to be held sacred, and, doesn't want to just share and then someone is like watching 2 minutes of the video and, not really interested. It's like, I feel like this energy wants to be honored and it wants to be respected. And in that, as I was feeling into like, okay, well, how can I honor it? What was coming forward is to have a container, and really I want to explore this together, because, one of the things that I have also been really present to is this way of, in the past, as I've sort of tapped into my own intuition, and I think as women in general, we've done this, right? Because there were the lifetimes when our intuition we couldn't express it. Maybe we were killed or condemned or, punished, whatever the thing was. And then, we kind of went through this stage of like the feminist, where we like reclaimed it and we kind of put a stomp to it. And then like the feminine way is the way. And, now we're being called to something different. And what I've been present to in my relationship with James, in some of our recent conversations, is this way of, there was a time when his own intuition was sort of suppressed. And some of that was because, I was holding this knowing of like, well, I can see these things and I know what needs to happen, right? And as I've been exploring this dark goddess energy, like I can see how that's actually a protection. It's a protection to try to keep us safe. And what actually happens is it creates more separation, and there's this invitation to actually deepen into the mystery of the unknown, right? And like, if I'm not holding this, I know what the thing is for you, and I know what the way is for you, then it can be scary, especially in relationships or when we're working with clients, because if we're not being the strong one, right, leading the way, then what if they make a choice that isn't good for us, or it hurts us, or creates more work for us? There's so many stories that we could create around this. And when we get to a place of being willing to like see those own places in us, maybe where the place where we were protecting our own power, our own resources, our own wisdom, we actually pushed other people away, and so then there becomes this like right and wrong, or this light and dark. And what I'm seeing as I deepen into this exploration is when we can, reclaim these places in us and see them with new eyes, and rather than being afraid of them, when we really can turn towards them the protections as well as the wisdom, and be with it, it starts to also transform the way that we are in relationship, right? We can actually bring things closer to us. So yesterday I had a client session, and she was looking at money energy, and she said there's this way that it's become so overwhelming, right? And she said her husband came forward as a reflection of the way that she feels about money and views money. And when she noticed her husband's energy coming forward, she didn't even want to go there, right? And when we do this, when we're afraid to look at these things, when we're afraid to go towards these things, we're creating separation. We're creating the separation within us, but also outside of us. It puts us more in the victim mode. It puts us more at this place of, this training that I'm currently into, Joe Dispenza, the way that he calls it is we can either be particles or we can be in the flow. And when we're particles, we're going to get pushed around by other particles. So when we are in these old structures of limiting beliefs and, these patterns and these protections, when we're kind of rigid in those things, then we're going to get the outside reflections where the world feels rigid, or the world feels harsh, or the world feels like it's judging us. And so, as we go closer to this, as we free up that energy, what it also frees up is this creation energy, this life force energy, this ancient wisdom that is in us, that's wanting to be honored. It's like returning to these sacred roots. It's wanting to be cherished. It's wanting to be used in the proper way. And, in my post I shared yesterday, the way that I've been seeing this is, there's so many layers of this energy, and it can show up differently in each of us because we all have our own unique flavor, right? So even for me to say what I think it is, for you it can be totally something different. But what I've been present to, the way that I've been noticing it is, it's the wind that blows seeds and allows seeds to be planted in new places. It also can be, the hurricane that floods things, and then things have to be rebuilt, or the fire that burns things down. But it also can be the rain that nourishes the ground and the seeds and allows them to grow. And so yes, so I am, I'm feeling very passionate about this, about diving deeper into this and exploring these places, and I want to invite you to join me. And so I created a 6-week group experience. I'm not calling it a program because, this isn't necessarily me teaching you. I don't know. I am an exploration of this myself. And yesterday when I got this idea, and it really felt, I could feel it coming from my womb. I could feel it coming from this depth of like really feeling called to do this. As soon as I started to, I told the healer that I'm working with, and as soon as I told her, I could feel like maybe I shouldn't be doing this because I don't know everything there is, right? I'm not an expert at this. And I don't think that that's the point. What I do feel like I'm really good at is holding space. And, I'm a Scorpio and I have it 5 times in my chart. And I love transformation, and reclaiming shadowy places and bringing light to them is also, one of the things that I'm really good at. So while I'm not an expert at the Dark Goddess, I have these tools. I have these tools to help us navigate. And I want to invite you to join me on this journey. And the format that I'm seeing is this 6-week journey, and we would have weekly calls. There would be 90 minutes. On the calls, I'm going to bring topics forward or what's moving through. So I started to feel into some of these things. So I'll share those with you in a minute, but I'll bring forward a topic. We'll do an energy experience exercise, and then we're also going to have space for, questions, answers, also support, because again, I want this to be about us discovering this together, not me telling you a thing. And, when we each have our own experience, right, that is how we learn. That's how we learn. That's how we actually get to know from this deeper heart wisdom. It's through experience. It's not through, logic. So I really want this to be about you having an experience of yourself, you getting to know these places in yourself. And so, some of the topics that I've been feeling into are seeing through the lens of light. So I've been diving into this with some of my clients, and it's so powerful. And so, we're going to be diving into that and really creating a foundation. I know some of you may have a harder time with shadow, or, maybe even like when things feel heavy, and you might notice this in your relationship or with clients too, when maybe if someone around you is in a lot of emotion, you might not want to be around them, or you might find yourself wanting to fix or make it better, right? Or tell them what they should do so that that energy can change. When we're doing this, there's a darkness to that, right? And again, this, it takes honesty to really look at these things. But when we are willing, it creates so much more union, togetherness, truth, love. And so, you might notice that, or, some of you might be feeling like, oh my God, when I go into my shadow, so much emotions, and then I get engulfed in the emotions. So, I'm a match to that at times. And, what I want to say is, like, we're going to be building this foundation for, those are protection mechanisms. And I really want to help you sort out the truth and the illusion. And us really get curious about the truth of what is, right? And so I just want to say, if that's been your experience in the past, maybe it will be your experience if you decide to join us. And, it might be totally something different, because I really want to go into this with creating a foundation for us to have a different experience, but also for us to go into these spaces with so much love and so much the lens of light, right? Seeing things through the lens of light. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be meeting the dark goddess within you, and you getting to know her, and you getting to learn more about her and really be in the mystery of her showing you and teaching you. We're also going to be exploring this wellspring of power and, what is it? So again, for each person, it's going to be different. For me, mine is kind of like this rich nature, rainforesty energy. And I had a client yesterday, and, as we got closer to some of this energy in her, it was like these ancient roots, that were connected to all these civilizations. And, so everyone's is going to be a little bit different. And we're going to explore this. Also, transforming our protections. And so, one of the things that I've been really present to is, we have all these layers of protection, and they might be stories, they might be emotions, they might be mechanisms, kind of like these snappy, judgy mechanisms. And, we could see them sort of like as mud in our system. And when we really start to get close to them and transform them, they actually can become the fuel, the fuel for our creations. If that mud washes down, it becomes the fertilizer, it becomes the fuel. It allows your seeds to grow, right? And it propels them. It allows, that seed to crack through the earth and be sprouted. And so we're going to be, exploring these, and also exploring transforming them into useful energy, allowing them to be fuel for your creations. And then we're going to, probably be exploring some redirecting your fire and your passion, because, when it's misused, when we're using our fire and our passion to take a stand, so for me in some of this exploration, because there was times when I was punished for, my power, or for using these resources, then, some of the old protection might be taking a stand for it, but the stand is kind of awkward and it's not actually serving, right? And it becomes more of a protection. And so, then what happens is all of that fire energy is actually pent up, right? It's pent up and it's trapped, and, that can cause physical health issues. It might create turbulence in your relationship. You might direct it towards yourself, where you're beating yourself up, sabotaging yourself. So we're going to go towards this, and we're going to see, like, can we redirect this? And again, it's kind of like using it as fuel towards, when we redirect it, then we can use it as fuel to serve our creation, to actually help us get to the next place, to the vision. And then we're also gonna, explore unleashing your magic. So allowing yourself to be seen, allowing yourself to meet the world, and allowing, this energy to be offered, to be offered in a new way. So I'm such a yes to this. And, you know, we're going to also be in eclipse season. So the first eclipse, I think, is July 2nd. And then the second one is like around the 14th or 16th. I don't know, something like that, 2 weeks later. But we're going to be in eclipse season. So we're going to have eclipses supporting us as well. And so, yeah, it feels like such a powerful time to be doing this work and utilizing this energy. And so, yes. And so if you feel guided, again, it's going to be 6 weeks. We're going to have weekly 90-minute calls where I'll bring forward a conversation. We'll do some energy work, energy exploration, and then we're going to have, you know, group support, laser insight, laser support, in helping you apply, see yourself and apply the information to, you know, your life, your business, all the areas. And your investment is $197. So, you know, I wanted this to be a low price point so that, yeah, you know, as many of you as possible and as many of you that are feeling called can join us, because again, this, you know, it's really feeling called to be a together experience. And at the same time, you know, I can feel this way of like, this energy really wants to be honored and, you know, held. So, you know, I'm going to be the holder and I'm going to facilitate us. And so if you're feeling called, I'm going to post the link for you to, I ended up creating a sales page. I know that I said I wasn't, and I created it more as an offering page instead, and the information was flowing through really easily, so I did that. So you can check out that and you know, sign up there, and once you sign up, I'll send you a welcome email. And oh yeah, we're gonna be starting next week. So not next week, the 23rd. I think it's a Monday. And I have a few times. It's the 24th, I'm sorry. So we're gonna be starting Monday the 24th. We'll vote on the time as a group. So yes. If you have questions, feel free to post them below, or, you know, send me a message, and I'm happy to answer those for you. And if you're feeling guided to join us, I would love to have you. So I'm sending you so much love, and I'm looking forward to diving into this mystery with those of you who decide to join me. Bye for now.